He was not surprised. So what has it to do with UFOs? One question I want to ask. Our highest technology is airplanes on Earth, not satellites, right? It's most highest advanced technology, science, everything you want to name it is there. We have specific airports to take off, specific airports to land. And before the pilot wants to take off, he wants to make sure that the air pressure is correct, there's no storm on the way, all those stuff, right? And while he's in the sky, he's also checking everything. And all the way until he lands. Do you think UFOs, they just randomly come and zip up and go?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I remember I saw you one of those UFOs when you were driving. Definitely no. But put yourself in the pilot's mind inside the UFO. What is he thinking? What is he checking? Is he worried what kind of shirt I'm wearing? Or is he worried about much more sophisticated, actually, situations and conditions? Right? What are those situations? First of all, gravity, energy. What else?
Magnetism.
Exactly, magnetism. What else? We only have 4 energies that we are concentrating on. This is about the second book, right? That's what I'm talking about. Is gravity, what else? Electric powers, forces, magnetic forces, and nuclear forces, right? These are the things we know in 2023. Many years ago, we didn't know half of it. Many years later, there might be some other ones, like the black, the dark matter and black energy, these kind of things. But what about after that? So there are things that they are the concern, and they're over there. We can only go so much. We can only talk about the energies and these things that we know, not more. So I'm going to bring those things up. Be ready to really be confused. I got confused. I don't know what you get. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stop here and give you a 2 hours break. Well, let's have a 5 minutes break quickly so I can. Not after 7 because I sleep at 7 a.m. She knows. My daughter's over there. So yes.
That carving, the bas relief that you said was Bela Shah, Kerman Shah, is that the Temple of Cyrus? Is that the one?
The last one that I showed, it was a square. That was Cyrus the Great.
With the
Yeah, that's where his
carved into the wall.
No, that's the top Bustan.
Okay, is that
No, it's not related. This is way late. The top Bustan was in the top. It was way later than the Cyrus the Great. Okay, it was way
that's
later.
a Behistan, Cyrus. Behistan?
No.
In Persia?
What?
The carving of Behistan with Cyrus the Great, I was confused on which one you meant.
Maybe it's that.
You said Cyrus the Great, then that was.
Ask him right beside you. That's why I try to keep the question and to answer at the end. I'll collect the questions because many of the questions that you have, I had it for years until I came up with the answer. It's not that me just right away tell you that. Okay, so I got punished by the director. He said, "Hey, you're losing time. I have a lot of information. I can skip through it, but it's going to be difficult for you to understand later on. So let me just go through it, okay? I know many of you will know these things, but
Okay, props for that. Welcome.
so the thing is that we have a lot of mysteries. Somebody disappeared here. A UFO comes here and there's a portal. The UFO goes in, disappears. Some people talk about Bermuda Triangle. Some people talk about the Dragon's Triangle. Some people talk about other places. Why the triangle? Anyways, we have strange places on Earth. They're all scattered, right? But there's a mathematic relation between them. I found a lot. My 8th book that I'm working on right now, I just 2 of them published. The 8th one is about the Bermuda Triangle. I think that's the Bermuda Triangle. It's 1,200 pages so far. A4 size. And somebody tells me, hey, I don't believe in Bermuda Triangle. So, well, you gotta wait until you read my book. The first 2 chapters, you're gonna be like mesmerized. how the Bermuda Triangle is working. Is it real? Oh, yes. Hell yes. I have people that I was a skeptic. I was very skeptic. I want to talk about me. I said, no, I studied physics. Everything should be have a formula. Go there. No, we haven't discovered it yet, but there are a lot of footprints that are there, and science cannot deny it, cannot accept it. It's like pseudoscience right now. So when I put everything together, when I gather all these things together, I have to come up with a solution to connect them, right? One of them was location. So when I worked hard, and then that was my hobby, that was my day and night. So in 2010, I think I copyrighted one of my books in the United States called The Bermuda Triangle. Before that, I copyrighted something else. It took me like 20 days. They sent me, oh, you're approved. Okay, here's your copy. The Bermuda Triangle took them 7 months to be copyrighted. Why? Just copyright. Why did it take them 7 months? So I got scared. Okay, there's something. The government is doing something. So I respect the government, but they said there is something there. So I kept it to myself. I didn't bring it out because when I bring it out, other people know about it, and then I have a lot of things that are going on. And I didn't have my citizenship in that time. I was not protected, so I was worried about it. So now I'm going to start with the force that's connecting these things together. Bear with me. I'm going to go quickly. Okay. So the first thing is that we are all objects, but the biggest objects that we have are the planets. This is how this is the source. Let me start from here. When we have two objects, one small, one big, two masses, okay, they are related to each other, straight line, and there's a force between them, it's gravity. Let's talk very simple and quick. This gravity, there's a formula for that. This mass one, mass two, and this is the distance, right? There's the opposite of the distance. And then if you bring the third object in, there is going to be a relation between them, right? And then there's going to be a different kind of angles of forces, which is called the combination force. It's not on this line, it's not on this line. We're going to talk about this. This is the point, this is the key, the combination force. It's hard to calculate, that's why not many people calculate. And this is our solar system with all these objects. They're not infinite, they're limited. Okay, so these are the connections. Okay, from Mars, if you connect them, and this is the mesh, you connect them all, it's limited. Okay, and then let's focus just on Earth. Okay. The thing is that they have movements around us. There's something called geocentric, which is you put the Earth in the center and everything rotates, revolves around it. Let's have that perspective in our mind right now. If you sit over there, the sun is rotating around us, the distance gets closer and further. Other planets are the same. They get closer and they get further. They're all limited. You never see sun in the North Pole, okay? And moon and sun, they're limited. The distance is limited, there's a limited range. So the combination force is also limited. Interesting, right? So what does that limitation tell me? We're going to see that above. Okay, first of all, the Earth looks like a lens, a round lens. I brought something here to show you. This is for those who don't know, this is a round shape. Okay, it's solid. See that? This is the Earth. I brought it to show you some things. Interestingly, when you put a laser inside this, like a light, can we turn off this?
All right.
Okay, let's just explain it. Yeah, let me just explain. Easy. Okay, so there's a lens. If you have a smaller lens, there's going to be a focal point, right? But if you have this, something like this, when the lights come through, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Got it,
Yeah.
yeah. So let me see if it works. Yes. Do you see the line in the middle? Do you see that, anybody?
Yeah.
So you can see that I'm moving it, that moves also with it. So you can see that the light is actually going back. The reason you see it is that the photon actually reflects back to you, it's not part of it. You will see it. Do you see any other things in the middle? You don't see it. But this is a different frequency than this one. Oh, this is blue. Daddy, No, it's not working. So this is a different, this is like a purple, okay? When it goes in, it reflects, it bounces back and forth because it hits the other side. And then you can see some focal points right over there near the center. And when I move this, that focal point doesn't move very much. It's stationary. Some other parts, the focal point moves, not that one. I don't know why this is not, it was 10 minutes ago. Anyways, this is solid. Our Earth is not solid, and it's not hollow also. I brought this one here to show you. Yeah, I don't think you can see it, but if you have time later, come on in. You will see that you can see some focal points right over there in the center or around that area. Even when I move this, the ones in the middle doesn't move much. Our Earth is not completely solid, and it's not hollow like this. Make sense? So the light is bouncing. These are lights. What happens with gravity? It's almost the same. What happens to the other forces, the other heat? It's almost the same. A little bit different, but almost the same. All right? You can turn it on, Larissa. Thank you. So these are the lines of those powers. When they connect to each other, they create a focal point. Not always. What if they don't gather together? There's no focal point. But if there is a focal point, when it's glow, that focal point is very close to the center, to the surface. Sometimes above it, sometimes under it. For those who are interested about Egypt, that's the focal point is in the pyramid, and it's like almost in the center of gravity over there. That's where the temple of the king is.
Wow.
And that's why the pyramid, there's no metal things in it. They had it, but they didn't use it. Temples in other places, they are built in specific places that this focal point exists. You're going to see more about it. All right, so let's go fast. This is that. This is the surface of the Earth, okay? The surface of the Earth here, underneath it is not solid. It's a little bit up and down, wavy, and over in the top. These are the Sha'z, I call it the Sha'z mystic force, okay? Everything has Sha'z in it. My daughter over there is laughing. It's just to make it different than the other ones, so you can distinguish. When the forces are coming from underground, from here, when it reaches to these places, they reflect differently, right? Let's talk about the ones that come, the focal point is above the surface, but it's very high. Then we go to the other ones. So have you ever seen that? I forget. Anyways, that focal point, because Earth is moving, I found that that focal point is rotating. Similar to chargers. You know cell phone chargers? How it works? It's electromagnetic field rotating, and then you put your cell phone on top of it. The cell phone also, that pushes the cell phone to rotate, right? We're going to talk about this. It's invisible. Something like that. There's a field here in the sky that is rotating. According to the distance from the surface, that rotation changes. If it's higher, it changes slower, but it's more bigger and wider. I don't know why. When it gets closer to the Earth, it spins faster, but it's not that much powerful. The power is small. You will see the U.F.Os when I'm going to talk about these things. That's why I'm explaining this. Anyways, let's talk quickly. You saw hurricanes. Those people who study about hurricanes, they know that there's a focal point over there rotating. That's why the whole hurricane is rotating. And it's powerful. Its top is again spinning. Then they are all in limited areas. They're not everywhere. You don't have hurricanes here. This is a track of hurricane for, I think, about 80 years. Bermuda Triangle. Who doesn't believe Bermuda Triangle? It's right in the center of this triangle. Copyrighted 2010. How about the Dragon's Triangle? It's in this area. It's the center of this triangle. Interesting. I'm not advertising my book because it's not public, so I cannot buy it. So, but it's in my in the future. A lot of other things I can see here, which because I spent time on it, and you don't see. The same way that it's stretched, this one's stretched. Right in the center is the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle. So this opens your mind that when the energy, the focal point is up, is in limited areas. It's not all around the world. Let's go to the other one. Here comes the tornadoes. Now this focal point is lower, near the ground. What happens? Spins faster, but the energy is smaller. Again, there are limited areas. It's not the air, it's not the mountains. They have some effect, but not that much. Why? I'm telling you, they're all in limited time, something between 2-3 minutes, all the way to like 20 minutes. We don't have tornadoes for like 2 hours. And they all have directions. What's going on? Why they have directions? Why they're in limited areas? Because something from under the ground is moving that way. Interesting, right? Where's the hole? Don't miss the hole. Okay.
That's why you need a pyramid to guide you.
Any questions here so far? Just if you have question, ask. I will answer later, but just ask it. Okay. Anyway,
Is it like induction, like magnetic induction?
it is something like that from under the ground. So something from the planets is going to Earth, and from the other side or this side or somewhere is coming out as a combination force, not just one, maybe simultaneously in other places. Okay, at the same time, because of the Earth's crust and Earth's actually in core and these things, they come up with different angles in different places. Sometimes very short this gap of time, sometimes instantly at the same place. You're not going to believe me. You know the Air Force airplane 447 that dissipated 2004, I think, 2007. Sorry, 2009 in the North Atlantic Ocean. It was going from Brazil, and it just disappeared over there. They said it's UFOs, abducted, a lot of things. Look at the map, the aviation map. It has nothing to do with the Bermuda Triangle, right? Wrong. It has a straight line to the border of the Bermuda Triangle. But the thing is that exactly the same thing, the continent I showed you, there are storms around it. The angles are about 40 degrees, 45 degrees. The distances are the same. So there's a force from under the ground coming up that spins the weather simultaneously sometimes, sometimes not. When we reach to this Skinwalker Ranch, we want to see more. Let me go quicker, faster. This is the clouds. Many of these people in, what's that field of the science? Meteorologists, they say, oh, it's because of the wind goes around it, the mountains, and that's why this shape comes in. Really? Look at this. That's the focal point, and that's this. So when you come up, it's here. Next one. You can see another one here. The layers are because of the temperatures. Look at this. What about the other clouds? How about this one? These are the tornadoes and the storms. There's no mountain there. Who said it's the mountains? Who said? You said? Just kidding. All right. So, what about this one? What about the other actually clouds? No, this force comes there, gathers for some reason. I don't know exactly 100% the mechanism, but that's how it is. There's no mountain here. Okay, you can see the focal points there. Okay, now let's go to the next one. There's no mountain there again. Again, have you seen the mountains like a cone shape? Because the earth is pulling it up. It's pulling it up. Sometimes it pulls the ground up, sometimes it pushes it down. Yes, I have a lot of research. Okay, just trust me until the book is done. So I'm studying my future books. All right, how genius I am, right? Okay, look at this. These are not my pictures. I didn't go on this street and stuff like that. Look at this. What you notice is that they're in line. See that? How about this one?
Oh, no.
Right? How about this one? What's strange here? Who can tell? What is interesting in this bit?
A lot of others, somebody back in shape.
Exactly. The cloud up is globe. It represents this. Okay, and down there, again, there's a mountain, which means that the focal point is pulling the ground up for some reason, and that's what happened to the air. Make sense? Now look at this. Is that the only cloud that it comes like a globe? How are these ones? We have other clouds, right? Why there? Okay, now let's go down on the surface. Here comes Skinwalker Ranch. No, not now. I'm very excited about that. How about that cloud? Why other clouds? And I am impressed. I don't know about you. Just imagine I found out at 2 a.m. Could I sleep that? No. And then my daughter in the morning said, Daddy, why did you sleep? Now look at these ones. These are some other funnels. Again, you see the very high speed, but it doesn't reach down, right? And this one's above the ocean. What does it tell me? It's not the land and the soil. It's this under it. Make sense? Okay, if you follow up with me, you will see, you will understand more. This one, the focal point is on the ground, on the surface. You see the funnel? You see that? So the ground is not affecting much, a little bit affects. What is the source? The planets, the rotation. You see these things on other planets. Jupiter, look at it. You will find a lot of information. Yes, let me skip that and go here. This is called the hole punch cloud. You've seen it, right? Again, there's a question here I'm going to ask. If you can tell me the answer, you're going to be you're so genius, okay? Okay, what's happening in the middle? Why in the middle, all the clouds are pushed out somehow. And just in the center, they're getting is that, right? The thing is that there is a ring here. On that ring, there's no cloud. Outside and inside of the ring, there are clouds. You see that? Okay. You see the funnel again? They say, oh no, airplanes move through it. Go online. Who's going to laugh? You're going to be really seriously? How about this one? 90 degrees. I saw a lot of pictures of it. Okay. What's interesting is this one. Now this is the opposite. So it's a ring, but it's gathering in that ring, in that tube kind of thing, right? There's nothing inside it, nothing outside. Look at this one. Now look at this one. This is interesting. It happened at the same time, 4 of them. Okay. But these two are different than these two. The qualities, again, 90 degrees, straight on the line. And you can see that these two are filled. These two are not. Interesting? Any questions now? How it works, I don't know. I just found out the clues. These are all footprints. I spoke with many people from my country, mostly Farsi. And they gave me ideas, but they all scratched their head. That's why I lost my hair, you know.
Because when I said induction happens electronically or electromagnetic. There's no
induction.
Electromagnetism in clouds.
Exactly. So I told you we have 4 fields of power forces, okay, and but we found 2 more, like black. There should be more. I don't know. And maybe when we make food, we put ingredients and they mix them together. It comes this food, and we prepare it another way. It comes another food, right? When we mix these things together, something else is coming out. Like you have sugar, it's white. You have water, it's transparent. You mix them together, it's transparent, but the taste changes. Okay, and we have some liquids that are blue, some liquids that are purple. You mix them together, it comes out yellow. And gas. Okay, I don't know. The combination force is the key, but I haven't gone further than that. Make sense? Okay, so what's this box? This is the ground. When it's under the ground, This is why I wrote my book, Earthquake, how to predict earthquakes. Yeah, I predicted twice. Yeah, it worked, both of them. And guess who helped me for the English part of it? The shy lady.
You predicted more than two.
Okay, so this is under the ground. I'm just showing you. I tried to come up with something to help you understand this. Okay, again, yes, under the ground, the focal point is twisting. And it's moving the same way that the hurricanes are moving, the same way that the tornadoes are moving. This force generated under the ground is twisting and it's moving. And guess what? It's moving with it. The soil and the waters. Interesting. It's under the ground, it's trying to move, right? It's pulling all those substances inside that it can affect on them. So it's moving it. Guess what happens in millions of years? Each time that happens, because this power is coming from under the ground, you have frequencies and it goes up. We have sound and we have lights. Have you ever heard about sound of earthquakes? Lights of earthquakes? These are recent topics. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a curious person. But I figured that out like about 2008, 2009. How I remember, she was very young. I remember sleeping at night and reading my book while I was doing that. Anyways, guess who will sense that? Which animal? The animals that are sensitive and they're on the ground. Snakes. Mice. Yes, they sense that. And interestingly, cows. Cattle mutilation. There is something in the cows that's not in the horses. Anyways, in the ocean, there are fish. Have you ever heard that a lot of whales beach themselves? Have you heard that some orcas and some dolphins beach themselves? Even with you, when you rescue them back, they want to come back. They're scared from something. They're scared of this thing, the focal point which is happening somewhere. And they run away. They're scared. They sense it. Why crabs don't, but they don't sense it, right? Why I don't? All right. So after millions of years, when this is pushing and Earth is rotating, it's affecting only limited areas. Those areas eventually, when it's pushing around, cracks. This explains the tectonic plates. Interesting, right? Okay, so this is what's happening. It's moving and it's pulling this side and this side resisting. So this cracks begin and the tectonic plates begin crack, and then it's sliding that tectonic plate back and it slides on this part. That's where the earthquakes happen. So if you know the planets, the movement of planets, you can predict earthquakes. You can predict the hurricanes. Yes. I just predicted the other hurricane. I wrote the date that it starts. I wrote the date that it finishes. And I wrote the date that it's going to be the peak. I wrote the area that the peak will happen. I wrote the track, and everything is written, right? And I know the earthquake and what magnitude is the earthquake. It's all by numbers, no seismology. Don't record this, you know.
Don't confirm.
Okay. And earthquakes are happening in specific areas. So when the focal point is above the earth, high is in specific areas. When it comes down lower, it's specific areas. When it comes under the ground, it's in specific areas. The other one is when it goes in the water. The focal point doesn't understand, is it water or is it land? So something happens. So anyways, when it's up, you can see the satellites that change. The satellites that move above Bermuda Triangle, they have some anomalies going on. Because that area is high there. So this is the Bermuda Triangle, it's hot there. The other places the same. When it comes down, we have airplane. There are places that airplanes should not go. They don't know why, but a lot of things happen. And then when you come lower the birds and you come on the ground, these are the things that's happening. Psychologically, people get affected. Our brain, our body works with electricity on nerves. So what happens? Right. And we have 70% water. What happens when the focal comes on? Affects the water. So some people's biologically are different than other people. If it happens right over here, I might get a headache, lost some more of my hair, you might not feel nothing. Skinwalker Ranch. You saw that the guy had a problem, again had a problem. You saw that the frequency comes from the ground. You saw that recently they found out there's a focal point in the air.
Right.
You saw that? Okay. And they found out with radars, right? Because there's no energy, but with pictures they could find out with that. And a lot of other things.
The Sedona vortexes.
So then a vortex says, oh, you're going to be impressed. You just brought it up. Okay. So now let's go a little bit to the physics. I try, as he said, try to make it very simple. This is the ultimate of physics. The C is, we are just talking with Dr. over there. C is speed. C means the difference of distances over time, right? But it's limited, it's adjusted. If you increase the distance, you have to increase the time. So it comes up with the same number. Are there other elements that go faster than that? Yes. Are there physical? No? Yes. Anyways, these are the four main elements of my research. Why? Because these are connected. Energies, masses are the objects, and then we have distances and time. All right, and then we have wormholes. Here comes the exciting part that many people ask about it. I should have gone all through these things so you understand as you follow. Okay, wormholes, they're spinning. You saw a lot of pictures, they're spinning. Duh. All right, the thing is that if you want to make a wormhole, if you want to have the same object transfers from here to there, they should have the same energy, right? The only thing changes is the distance and time. This is the most obvious way to show it. I can go to the formula, but let's keep it this way. So if we have an energy here, and somewhere on this planet or another planet, pay attention, far away, if that has the same energy, then this object can transfer from here to there. It cannot transfer from here to there. Because the energy changes, what happens to the mass? Changes. You go in as a human, you come out as a frog. It happened to me, believe me. I was handsome. All right, so here comes the UFO. Somewhere, I don't know where, the UFO goes inside that wormhole. Guess what? It ends up here. Nice job. Okay, I was worried about this. And the UFO is here. He has a certain amount of time to go around, immediately go back to the portal that is opening and taking him to the place that he wants to go. They're way advanced. They know these are their airports. I call it UFO ports. These are their ports. But they know that, hey, we have to go in that place, in that location, and to come out on Earth, and we have like 24 hours or 35, 6 hours, whatever, to go inside the other portal to come up to another planet. That's why you always see the UFOs in a certain amount of time. How many questions I answered? Think about it. Cathode mutilation, all these things are now connected to each other. Now, when it's here, it's ready to go to that portal, right? Guess what? An airplane, the portal opens, another airplane accidentally is there. What are you doing here? Story. Lake Michigan, a UFO appeared. They sent a jet. It's in my book here. I don't remember the name, so I'm not good at names.
Your book again.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just increased $1. Yes, it's going up. You better get it quick. I dropped down the price anyways, just to make it easier for you guys, as a respect. So this airplane went there, the radar, not one, multiple, who was from Canada. The Canadian airport and the Lake Michigan airports, a couple of them, they found out there's a big, giant, actually, spot on the radar. They send immediately a plane to go over there. The plane goes and he says, I'm watching it. I'm getting close. The people who are sitting and watching the radar see the two blips, blip, 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 goes together, and both of them disappear. Guess what happened? I think they went to another dimension. And the UFO cannot push the airplane out and cannot pull it in. One more question. if the energy is big, they need a huge energy, right? Can they have a huge mass for the UFOs? No. If they want to travel all those distances, these portals near the Earth have only certain amount of energy. So if they're traveling from this planet to another planet, it should have the same energy, right? So that means that it should have the same mass, the planet. Interesting. So they cannot go from Jupiter all the way to Earth. They should go to Earth to something like Earth. Or a little bit similar, something like that. So this UFO has a small mass because, and they are light as much as they can, so the mass comes down, so they require less energy. If the mass is high, they have to wait until that high energy appears, and it's seasonal usually, like hurricanes. You've heard a lot of stories about UFOs in the hurricanes. UFOs in the tornado, they go in the tornado. UFOs that they go inside this volcanoes. Mexico, there's that mountain.
Mhm.
Because the portal opens, they go in quickly. Why they go quickly? Before the heat affects them, they're there. And they go. Or they come out. Same thing. They come out, they immediately come to get out of that heat. I can answer a lot of these kind of questions with this theory, hypothesis. Okay, now what happens over there? They do appear. They come out. Another example, a UFO incident. I forgot. Valadi, something like that. It's in Southern Australia. You've heard about it. This boy was 20 years old, 21, pilot, practicing. He went over there. He announces to the radio, hey, what's this object about? Is there any other airplanes? Read the story. And he said that this UFO is right above me. It's metallic. And it disappears and it appears again. It's still there. And that's the last word. Although the ocean over there is very shallow, up to today, after like 60, 70 years, they still couldn't find the plane. What has happened? I think, first of all, is a specific place. It's not just that. Other incidents happen. Okay? And other UFO incidents happen over there. Abductions happen over there. UFO landed in the school, in the yard in Australia, near that area. So the UFO appeared, went around, sit down, oh, saw the kids, same size. Why are you same size as me? They're 4 inches, they're 4 inches.
Yeah.
They're curious. They took a look, they took some pictures, put together cheese, and then for any reason, they go out, they come back the next day. And they disappear forever. They didn't disappear forever. They just went to the portal to go to the other places they want. That's why they had a short time. Anyways, a lot of these stories. That there's a line in that place, and you are on that line. It's not ley lines, it's different. Anyways, this is what's happening to the UFOs. This is the hypothesis explains the UFOs, but what else? So these UFOs come and they go over that place in the top of it or inside of it. They don't go inside, they go below that. They go under the ground, they go over the ground, they sit down, land, or they go like a USO under the water. Tic-tac, the tic-tac incident, that area is specific. That area, okay, this is the bonus. Can you turn that off? That area is related to the most important UFO incidents in the history. Is the forest in England. What's it called?
Rendlesham.
Yeah, you're going to be impressed. That's when last time I met Mr. I don't know if I should say the name or not, but he wrote a book about Rendlesham Forest. He's the most actually person that I respect him a lot. Nick Pope. Okay, and I explained to him a little bit about it, and he said, yeah, but he was so engaged. He said to call me later, and I got engaged with these things in my life. You know? But yeah, I showed him something about this, and he just did that. Just to let you know. So another book is coming out about studying the book. Oh my God, a lot of books I have to work on. These UFOs go over there, and guess what? You've heard about the UFOs rotating. Have you ever thought about why they're rotating?
Centrifugal force.
They're charging.
They're charging. Make sense now? Who's happy? Yes, they're charging. They have two kind of devices. A device that you can see that it's rotating. You heard a lot. They're rotating, they're hovering in one place. or here or there. Or they're underground, and so you can see that the lights are turning around, there's a device going on, or you can see that it's solid, so most definitely there is something inside it that is rotating or charging. My cell phone, you don't see anything rotating, right? But when I put it here, it's not rotating, but it's charging. Even if I lift it up a little bit, it still affects. So that's why you don't see the UFO. Sometimes you have the cylinder one. They have some device, some sort of device inside it that's rotating charging. You have the round ones, and they charge, and then they go inside, they travel to the next place.